We're here at the SBC Summit in Lisbon with GR8 Tech, who have built their Heavyweight Club, which is an exclusive community for operators with bold ambitions. Today I'm joined by GR8 Tech CSO Yevhen Krazhan to discuss the market, what the future holds, and the Heavyweight Club. Yevhen, how are you doing today?
Thank you, George. I'm doing fine. This is the first day of SBC. We're happy, excited, pumped.
Of course, Oleksandyr Usyk is one of the most well-respected athletes in the world. How great is it to have him on board? How amazing of an individual is he?
Well, we have recently started shifting our marketing strategy towards Heavyweight Club and the platform for champions. So our partnership and sponsorship partnership with Ready to Fight and Oleksandyr Usyk as a legendary boxer has been great. I think there are a lot of activations that we're going to do today, tomorrow. Some things are happening. So we're very happy. And I think there's a lot of connection between the heavyweight platform and the Oleksandyr Usyk's team and his performance lately.
And speaking of heavyweights, GR8 Tech's Heavyweight Club has caught the eye. So can you just give us a brief explanation of what the Heavyweight Club is?
Well, Heavyweight Club is more a marketing term that we initially kind of suggested to showcase how heavy and how good and how sophisticated the platform is. But it turned out to be, a real good combination of real factors, like the real heavy features that, the experienced operators and the experienced, players would need, which is a combination of CRM, heavy sportsbook, good solid performance of the casino. So I would say it's a recent positioning that we are definitely proving with a good functionality of the platform and services, B2B services as such.
Now that we understand what it is, how do GR8 Tech determine which operators are suitable for the Heavyweight Club program?
Well, our doors are open to anybody, but our ideal client is the client with experience and the growth ambitions. We're not capable of doing everything for everybody. I think we're fine-tuning our offering towards the tier 2 and tier 3 markets. But our main criteria is experience and high growth ambitions.
Now let's look at how you can help them. What areas can GR8 Tech help operators with heavyweight ambitions fulfill their goals?
Well, first of all, this is the extendability of the platform. We know that the clients that have experience, they need a lot of customization, they need a lot of integrations, and this is exactly where that flexibility comes, different, contrary to our competition in the market. And I think this is where, any heavyweight would need a little bit of a custom approach, and this is what we are going to do.
Now, we've outlined the opportunities, but without proper guidance, it could be hard to capitalize upon them. So, what are the biggest mistakes that operators make, and how can they avoid them?
Well, first of all, I think we are experienced as a platform, and all the clients that we have worked before as more tier 2 and tier 3 markets. And I think the biggest mistake is to try to repeat and copy paste something from tier 1, or using a global universal brands, trying to compete with the local brands. So what we are suggesting is build local teams, build local expertise. Localization would not be limited only to language. So trying to build the custom retention office and custom retention flows, because the clientele is very fluid and very dynamic. So try to keep as much of your acquisition as possible. I would say focusing 80% on retention and maybe 20% on acquisition.
What does success look like for a Heavyweight Club operator, say 6 to 12 months after entering a tier 2 or tier 3 market?
We're focusing on tier 2 and tier 3. We definitely feel that break-even point comes earlier. If in tier 1 Europe, for instance, somebody can expect 3-4 years until even operational break-even. In our cases of smaller, maybe more modest geos, that break-even may come much faster. Of course, the different metrics could be different for different operators. What we are also suggesting is that we have a strong or being built a success team and the client success officer or key chief client officer. That definitely the growth is a process. Growth is where we're not just setting up a platform and then let it go. We are keeping the client in the hypercare for an extensive period of time so we can grow together.
Now, we've dealt with the market, the Heavyweight Club, and other factors, but let's look at the future. What's next for the industry itself as well as GR8 Tech?
Well, we definitely see a lot of changes. I think sportsbook wants to be customizable. We're bringing sportsbook in different shapes. We have made iframe available, but now are changing the way the integration could be, maybe through JavaScript. We're also adding crypto functionality heavily, both in Sportsbook and the full platform. So these things, and besides, maybe adding right to left localizations for Arabic countries, these sort of things I think stay very close. Maybe another thing is customer success, bringing CRM to the next level. So it's focusing on retention rather than acquisition only. I think this is more or less universal trends across the industry, but we're happy to know them and be at par with our competition and on the same page with our clients.
Well, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much for your time, Yevhen. It's been brilliant to get that insight. And remember, if an operator wants to pack a punch like Oleksandyr Usyk in the market, then Great Tech looks like a safe bet. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Enjoyed it.